No longer are we being ghosted by anyone in our reality, including our specific person. So today in this video, we are ghost hunting for your specific person or anyone that you want to have contact with. Because this is not our reality. We're picking and choosing exactly what we want. So if you don't want to be ghosted anymore, then you don't have to be ghosted. And so first and foremost, before we dive into it, I want to ask you, what does it mean to be ghosted? So what does ghosting mean to you? And I literally want you to comment that down below. So if you said, I am ghosted, what does that mean? And what kind of length of time are we talking about? Are we talking about 10 years, 5 years, a year, a month, a week, a day, 5 hours? What is your perception of what being ghosted is? And I'll tell you, it has a huge impact on our assumptions. But then also, what I want you to comment down below, and we'll change everything around, but I just want you to comment with that. When's the last time you felt as if you were ghosted? When was the last time you kind of fell into that feeling? And I'll tell you, the simple answer to no longer being ghosted and to totally pull ourselves out of the state is to remember that what we're actually perceiving in our 3D has nothing to do with our actual reality, okay? Because what we're actually perceiving and stating as 3D is not actually our 3D. And this is something I always like to include to tell everyone who will listen, because we think that our 3D is our external reality. But then what do we also include in that? We're gonna also include our specific person's thoughts, or what we think they're thinking, or what we're assuming they're thinking. But to remember, what we are assuming they're thinking is all within our imagination. And we are constantly, every single moment controlling our imagination, literally every single step of the way. So don't mistake this fact that we are assuming something on our specific person or assuming their thoughts and taking that as your reality. Because right now, I would say, what do you think your specific person is thinking right now? The last time you hung out, what did you think they were thinking? What did you think their feelings were for you? Or when you think of the last time you were texting, what did you feel their feelings were for you in that text message? And that, remember, is within your imagination. What you're assuming, that's what you're creating. And so I just wanted to point this out because a lot of us don't disconnect this, or they think that our 3D reality is everything we feel is true, but that's not the case. Your 3D reality is what you're seeing right now. It's this video that you're looking at. That's in your 3D. Everything else is in this quantum state. But there's a few things that kind of come from mind reading. And this is why, and again, how we're going to kind of change this ghosting, because you're not being ghosted. I will tell you, this is totally within our own imagination. I know it feels like that way right now because when you do assume a state, when you do get into a feeling, that's your reality. So you will see that beginning to occur. But we can easily switch this because mind reading, so this is like an automatic negative thought. So meaning that when you are mind reading in your reality, you can either create it negative or create it positive. But here are just some things that kind of happen. So we begin to create and have social anxiety, right, around our specific person. That's one thing. Because if you're thinking that they're thinking negative about you, that's kind of what you're going to create, right? You're going to be anxious instead of being comfortable and happy with the person that you're married to. You're going to feel anxious. It's going to feed into your negative self-image, right? It's going to impact our self-concept, our self-efficacy, right? It's going to distort your reality because you've heard me say this all the time. Your reality is positive, abundant, amazing right here and right now. And the fact that you're actually perceiving it as not amazing has nothing to do with the actual reality that everyone and everything is always working out to make your manifestation happen. And also, this is going to create, so the concept of this mind reading that again leads to ghosting, because what are we assuming when we say that we're being ghosted? What are we assuming that they're thinking? And we'll get into that. It's going to kind of eliminate communication because the more we assume that someone doesn't want to talk to us, the less they talk to us. Even if we're getting a message every single day of the week, if we begin to assume that they don't care about us, that they hate us, that they dislike us, that's going to create in our reality. But even if you get one text message a week and you begin to assume that you are constantly in communication, or no text message, you haven't gotten a message in years, because you've seen me put success stories on this channel about people who literally where the most recent one, someone hadn't talked to their specific person in a year and watched my Manifest a Text in 30-second video and literally got a message a year. They were no contact for a year. And so That's the power of your reality. That's the power of your creation. But then also remember, and we talked about this in a past video, it's something called self-fulfilling prophecy, but basically your assumptions create the reality you want. So if you're in the state that your specific person doesn't like you, wants to ghost you, doesn't want to talk to you, your mind will create and make everything match that. Just meaning they will say, hey, let's go meet up for dinner, let's go meet up for drinks, something like that. And your mind will have the inability to even see it because of the state we're in. And this happens a lot. I know you're like, no, Kyle, I could totally see everything that's happening. Like 100%, I would definitely tell if my specific person asked me out. Change your state and do the stuff I talk about in this video, and then relook at your messages. And you'll find that they were probably really aligning with your beliefs, your positive assumptions, but we were kind of going in the negative. And an example of this would be if you thought that your specific person didn't like you, and we'll take two versions of you. One that says, that assumes their specific person likes them, one that assumes that they don't. Let's say their specific person or your specific person said, hey, let's hang out tomorrow. The one that knows that your specific person loves you is like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I'm loved. I'm abundant. I'm positive. The other version that thinks in the negative thinks the absolute opposite. Like, is this a joke? Are you being sarcastic? They're just going to cancel on me, right? And it's really obvious when we think about it, even just a little bit, that these assumptions then begin to create, and we can only see and have any experience that aligns with that outcome. So the thing is, and this is what we're going to do, we're basically going to look, because we're ghost hunting, right? We're ghost hunting for our specific person. So ghosts, again, you're going to look at those assumptions, at these ghosts, your negative assumptions of these ghosts, and find out what they're actually covering up. Right? So these ghosts, these imaginary ghosts are going to be our assumptions. That's what we're ghost hunting for, okay? These assumptions. And so we want to challenge those, okay? And so when you think of the thought of my specific person doesn't want to hang out with me, my specific person doesn't like me, I will guarantee you those are based on nothing, okay? Because your reality is inherently positive. Everyone and everything around you is trying to help you manifest your specific person. So the thought that your specific person doesn't like you is literally insanity, right? It's absolutely crazy. And you don't have to believe me right now, but this is truly the outcome and your life, your reality right here and right now. It's not going to change at any point in the future. Your specific person already wants to be with you. It's just if we are going to assume the state, feel into that feeling, and then create that outcome. But challenge those. So whenever you say my specific person doesn't like me, ask why. And then go back to that example. Is this something that we're perceiving in our 3D? Because again, if your specific person says, I can't meet up today, that sounds like a perception of being ghosted or being rejected. But that's not the case, right? Because they're just unable to meet up. And so I would always think about everything as being a bridge of events, because this of them, let's say, okay, let's just think about the two states that we can come from. Let's say we're coming from a negative state and they say, I can't really meet up. What do we do? How do we respond? Be honest. We usually respond with we're kind of mad about it. we're not gonna sugarcoat it here. We're gonna be mad, upset, feel rejected, want to kind of lash out at our specific person, or feel depressed, sad, and just disappointed, right? We could feel all those, but really, who is saying that this isn't leading to an even better manifestation, an even better date? What if this date was going to be okay, semi-okay, and the reason that your reality stopped this date was because when you rescheduled, you created a date that was literally perfect and you guys get together right there and then, right? So this is the perception that these are the ghosts, right? Thinking my specific person doesn't want to be with me, that's a scary ghost just because they said they can't make it or said, hey, I'm a little busy right now, or respond as a one-word message. How do we know they're not busy? How do you know they're not trying to actually kind of pull back to make you try to come attracted to them? And that's all rooted in actual pursuing, right? When someone actually actively tries to ignore messages to make you like them, that's actually them or pursuing you. So it's that could be happening. How do we know they're not just busy, right? These are the ghosts that are haunting us. We're ghost hunting. We're getting rid of those. So look at those and challenge them and reframe them, something called reframing, where we look at it in a positive way. And then we start this self-fulfilling prophecy and the self-assumption and the opposite. Because again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when you assume your specific person wants to meet up with you, wants to communicate with you, your eyes begin to see a totally different reality. It's night and day different. Honestly, try this out and you will see a total difference. But as soon as you look at these ghosts as soon as you focus on them and realize they literally have they're not backed up by anything. They're literally within our imagination. Remember, that's everything that is not directly in front of you is a product of your imagination. And even, remember, this goes even deeper. So the perception can kind of be hard at first, but even when your specific person says, I just want to be friends, or let's do this, like something you would perceive as negative, remember, a majority of what we're saying is happening within their mind. Again, we're mind reading, but that's within our imagination, right? That's in a quantum state that we are controlling by our assumptions. So next time you begin to immediately go down this idea of I'm being ghosted, things are going bad, challenge it. Look at that ghost. Get rid of that ghost. Get some sage and go around your thoughts. Yeah, that's a good metaphor. Get some sage and just put it around your head and get those ghosts out of your head that are haunting you, causing you to perceive your specific person not liking you. Literally do that right here and right now, because as soon as you reframe it, as soon as you ask yourself why your reality is actually working out in your favor and how this happening is actually a perfect bridge of events, you're going to see your reality begin to reflect that immediately. Okay? And when I say immediately, I mean literally immediately. So go ghost hunting. Don't wait any longer. Don't get this, call in the priest, because these ghosts, these ghouls, these demonic entities are just covering up something positive, and we're going to realize that all the ghosts are only there because we were calling them in. So let me know as well if you had any questions on this, or remember, you can also reach out to me on my website at kyleaugustcoaching.com. And if you know you're going ghost hunting and you're going to totally change your reality with your specific person, leave a thumbs up on this video. And as well as all this, remember, for all my members, I've been doing like a meditation one day and going live the next, so I'll be going live for all my members later today. I'll comment in the community tab when that actually is. And thank you so much for stopping by today. Make sure to have your crosses and your wooden stakes while you're going ghost hunting, because you never know what you'll encounter. But remember, everything was within our imagination. And thank you so much for stopping by today. I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.